Every month, Bahir and I take the opportunity to check out JFF Theatre. If you don't know what JFF Theatre is, it is a platform that's available to you courtesy of the Japan Foundation, absolutely free. All you have to do is register, and you can watch this incredible selection of Japanese movies. And every month, Bahra and I pick a few movies to watch and then talk about here because, as you well know, we are big fans of Japanese cinema. And this is a great, easy, accessible way to watch some really well curated content. This month, we decided to watch two movies. Not one, but two movies. The first is Nobunaga Concerto. And the second is actually a movie that was screened in Malaysian cinemas during the Japan Film Festival, and it's called Mondays, See You This Week. All of the selections this month have a timey-wimey element to them, whether it's a Groundhog Day type thing or a time travel type thing, so also right up our alley of things we really enjoy watching. Now, Nobunaga Concerto is an interesting movie because it is like a lot of Japanese things in multiple formats. It was an anime, it was a TV series, it was a manga, and then it's a movie as well. And this movie is actually the conclusion to the TV series of the same name. I will say neither Bahir nor I have seen the TV series, and that it didn't affect my experience of watching this movie because this movie was still great. And it made me want to go seek out the TV series because it's a super interesting idea. So it's based on a historical manga, and it follows Saburo, who is a modern high school student, this lazy guy who finds himself in the past and confronted by the ailing Nobunaga who united all of Japan. And he looks exactly like this high school student. So basically he goes, you know what? I'm not very able-bodied right now. Why don't you take over and be me while I disappear?
Yeah. Essentially, he just goes, "No, you do this."
It's like Dave, that American show where Kevin Kline steps in
Yes.
to be the president of the United States.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Essentially, original Nobunaga just goes, "You know what? I'm really not in the mood for all this war and battle and shit. You do it."
Correct.
And just runs off into the distance.
And so all of this is kind of recapped at the beginning of the movie. So even if you haven't seen the series, you're pretty much caught up by the time the movie starts. It's got a banging score, by the way. This
Yeah.
really rockin' soundtrack.
Which at times just feels a little
Out of place?
out of place. Like, I get it, but
But
also
it works.
It works, but also just a little out of place.
Here's the thing about the show that I really enjoyed. Like, I'm watching this movie, I've got no context, right? I haven't read the manga, I haven't seen the anime, I haven't seen the TV series. And yet, I found myself still emotionally invested
Yes.
in what was happening in this show.
Yes.
And it's a very clever concept because that time travel thing is used in an interesting way. Like, this isn't typical historical fiction. It isn't Tarantino killing Hitler either. But it's messing around with history in a fun way.
I guess in some ways it's an acknowledgement of what happens, but the question is, how does it happen?
In a typical show of this sort, they will find a way to make your protagonist live happily ever after, even though you, the audience, knows that he's in the past and has to die. I think the ending of this movie, and I won't give it away, does something very clever as to not undermine the emotional stakes of the film.
I loved the ending.
Right?
I love the ending, and I love the little epilogue that comes after that, because you're right. Like, I wasn't sure where this was going. Right up to the end, I was like, wait, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna kill him? Because, spoiler alert, Nobunaga dies. But like, how does it happen? What are they gonna do? Is it gonna be a switcheroo again? A double switcheroo? A triple backstab? What is happening right now, right?
Because Nobunaga himself comes back, but then he plays a different character. He pretends to be
Yes.
someone else.
Yes.
because he sees the good work that fake Nobunaga is doing. And he gets jealous.
He gets jealous because there's that line. OG Nobunaga goes to fake Nobunaga and says, "You have become the sun to all these people around you. I feel like the moon." I'm just like, oh, right through the feels, in the heart. No, but I was thinking about this last night and I realized this is like Return of the King.
Yes, in some ways.
In a way that, like, sure, if you just jump into Return of the King, you're not going to get the relationships between the hobbits, you're not going to get the relationship between Aragorn and Arwen, but you're gonna get swept up in the emotions and the action and the storyline. There's 15-20% emotion that you're not gonna get. Like, you're not
Yes.
gonna understand why those characters keep popping up and telling you things. But it's okay because you kind of get swept up in it.
Yes.
When the movie first opens, there was this sequence where fake Nobunaga is having a meeting with his council. I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. But at the end, when they're all rallying together to come and save him, I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm completely on board. I don't know any of their names, but I get it. I'm here.
Also, I have to say, it's very interesting in how the tone of this show plays out, because it's actually a lot of things. It's soap opera, it's drama, it's pretty brutal at times. Like, it doesn't pull its punches with regards to the historical stuff. Like, some of the battle sequences are really quite violent, and it's also very funny. There is a sequence when they are painting a portrait of Nobunaga, which is both a funny sequence and a fucking clever sequence, right?
Yeah.
Because they show him the portrait and it looks nothing like him.
Yes.
But it looks like the Nobunaga of history that we know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And of course, who the hell is this guy? But it plays into the whole idea of history is perceived and written by different people, and therefore you may get different ideas of what these people might look like. Was Jesus white? Who knows?
It's all tastefully done. It's all done without calling attention to itself. Like, for example, that bit where they're doing the portrait. Nobody's like, oh, well, what will the future people think if it
Yes.
doesn't look like, it doesn't become a thing. It's almost like a throwaway gag, but everything has a point and it's great. I find it really interesting because in that movie, in Nobunaga Concerto, which is about 2 hours long, it's about just over 2 hours long. I find it interesting in that it starts off very much like a TV show, like a Japanese TV show. It's a little silly, it's a little slapstick, it's a little wah wah. But then it slowly shifts in tone to the end. Like, the end of the film gets really heavy.
Yeah.
I found that as a really interesting storytelling thing, because the first half of maybe the first quarter really feels like a TV show. They almost play like really awkward music when fake Nobunaga and his, air quotes, wife meet up and they're sort of like joshing each other. And it's this weird sort of like romantic, slightly weird, awkward music. But then it starts to shift, becoming this like really heavy history drama thing happening. I just thought that was really great writing.
For me, the really great writing lies in that approach to dramatizing history or making pop history. Especially when you're trying to tell a time travel story, it feels... You know what this feels like? This feels very Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
In that the historical facts are true. All of those bits about Alexander Hamilton and the sisters and all of this stuff actually happened.
Right.
But then what Lin-Manuel Miranda did was he changed the way these characters looked. He changed the conversations they were having. He made them rap stuff. I mean, all of those elements took the historical fact and added a layer of pop.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this one tries to do as well. It feels very subjunctive history. It doesn't change the fact that these things happen or change the facts of what happened, but it adds an interesting perspective and point of view that could happen.
And I think like it doesn't even need to be a thing, right? It could just be entertainment for entertainment's sake.
Exactly.
This isn't HBO's John Adams or Steven
Yes.
Spielberg's Lincoln. Yes, I get it. It's time travel, la 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 la. In a way, it's almost like trying to bring young Japanese kids to learning about the history of Nobunaga and what he did for the people and for the islands of Japan.
But I think the best time travel stories do that, right? Because every time travel story that you write is always limited. And it's limited by history, by the future, by the present, by the fact that there could be a butterfly effect and a paradox and all of this stuff. So I think if you want to work within the strictures of what we know and not change that up too much, like what Stephen King did with his JFK assassination novel, what was it, 9/22/63? And it was also a TV series, but this guy discovers a portal and he decides that the one thing he wants to do is prevent JFK from being assassinated. But of course, the consequences of that are insane. And so he has to change everything back to normal. And yes, everything goes back to normal, or he does change things back to normal. But at the same time, there is an interesting story to be told in the what if. It's the same when Quantum Leap tried to do it every week and only changing little things that seemingly didn't affect the future. They really didn't think about the butterfly effect too much in that show. But
Yeah. For example, like in Nobunaga Concerto, if you're not doing it seriously, you can take liberties.
yes,
It's when you're approaching it with the gravity of history and all that shit, you then have to start concerning yourself with the butterfly effect and all those time travel trial type things. Whereas here it's like, yeah, by the way, one white guy just gets left behind.
yes,
He has a handphone. They both have handphones. It doesn't work, sure. But no, you can't get into the weeds of what about his bag that he left behind. They haven't discovered plastic yet. Or the white guy's mermaid tail. You're like, no, don't go there. Just let it go. It's okay.
we highly recommend this. You should watch Nobunaga Concerto. It's showing on JFF Theatre. There's a lot here, and I think it also highlights what we like best about doing things like this, which is it sends us down a rabbit hole of more cool things. And I'm definitely going to look up the series, potentially even the manga, which has been running for quite a while. And I'm curious to see how the story plays out in those other forms. But if history is any guide, Japanese adaptations tend to skew quite close to the source material. So I'm assuming the manga and anime might be similar, but I'm definitely going to check it out. Nobunaga Concerto is the name of the movie. You will not be disappointed. It is a lot of fun and it will take you places. The other thing that we watched is called Monday, See You This Week. This one has a timey-wimey element of a different nature. It is a Groundhog Day story, but yet again, just a very clever twist on it. It happens in an office, and I know all of us feel like it's the same fucking week repeating over and over again when we're doing a 9 to 5 job. But this is actually the same week repeating over and over again for these people. And it's a comedy. And I think it isn't quite as refined as something like Palm Springs, which had a similar concept, the Groundhog Day concept. However, I think the comedy chops on this is very, very good.
Oh, I will have to disagree with you there, my friend.
Oh.
I would rather watch this again than watch Palm Springs.
Interesting. I mean, I would definitely watch this again. I mean, it's a great movie, but
It's a great movie, but like the thing I like about Japanese films is that it never has to go big. Palm Springs, in American film, they have to go big. They have to
You're right.
constantly escalate. They have to raise the stakes. They have to get beaten down and then come back and win at the end triumphantly. Whereas here, it's just a simple office story that they have to keep repeating that they're trying to figure. It's great. I would much rather watch this again. I rate this a lot more than I do Palm Spring. Only because I think Palm Spring does the obvious.
what I loved about this movie are the characters. I think what this comedy does very well, and it is an old strategy, right? When you write these sorts of comedies, even if you look at Office Space, for example, every character is a distinct, unique personality. So in a police lineup, you can actually pick each one out because they all have certain quirks about them. And I think all of those characters are immediately relatable within the office space. And all of them are incredibly well written. And I think what the director has done with regards to how he's cut the movie in a Edgar Wright style, Shaun of the Dead style way.
Yeah. I didn't think of that. Yeah, but you're right.
He's got
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of those fast cuts, right? And
Yeah,
edits.
yeah.
I think that really lends itself to the format.
Yeah, it's also just this thing of like, when the story gets to like the third iteration, the director's like, look, we all know what's happening here. I don't have to show you everything. I'm going to just give you the quick montage highlights and then we'll just move on.
And it's not just the montage cuts, but also all of the sound cues, right?
Yes.
Phone ringing, keyboard
Yes.
clacking, all
Yeah.
of that stuff,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
already works in our brain to kind of remind us where we are, what happened, and what's going on. All of that's very, very clever execution, I felt.
All of it's very simply done. All of it's very elegant. And I think it helps get you there as an audience quicker.
Right.
And as the revelations show up, right?
Yes.
As the revelations of the number of times they've done it, as the revelations of bringing in newer members into this time loop thing. I also love the fact that our protagonist isn't the protagonist of the time loop,
Yes.
which I thought was just like, wow, storytelling, like ballsy storytelling.
But also very Japanese in that the protagonist wants to take advantage of the time loop to make the work better.
Also that, yeah, which I thought, yeah, that was also quite interesting.
It's like, this is an opportunity.
This is
to
an
deliver
opportunity for us
even
to-
better work.
Yeah, to perfect ourselves. I'm like, okay.
I love it. Obviously, all of this owes so much to Groundhog Day. And what's interesting as I was watching this is a reminder of just how much it owes to Groundhog Day. Like watching Groundhog Day, all of those recurring cues of Bill Murray stepping into the puddle. Like, I haven't seen that movie in years, but that image is still stuck in my
You
head.
get it. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And in this one as well, it's using the same cues, the pigeon.
Mm.
And it's like all of these sound cues almost to let you know that something is starting again, or that it's happening again, or that it hasn't changed, because you hear that thump. Right?
But he worked that into the story, right? That
Yes.
the director worked that into the story in that the thump becomes the sound cue for the characters to snap out of their time loop stupor type thing.
Correct. And I think
Yeah.
that's what's cool, because he's evolving the concepts. And he's not just lifting from Groundhog Day or Palm Springs or whatever, but using it in a different way and making it his own thing, which is very cool. There are so many great movies. There's another movie on JFF Theatre I want to watch, but hey, I don't know if you have the list in front of you, but it's about a time-traveling schoolgirl.
Time Traveler, the girl who leapt through time.
Yeah, I'm a real sucker for time travel stories.
You know what it is? I find it interesting in that the Japanese do it differently. Like, an American time travel story is almost kind of the same. You know what I mean? It's like, sure, it may be more funny, it may be more action, may or may not involve sex with your mother, but it's like, it kind of plays out the same way. An American studio will probably never touch something like Mondays, only because it seems too simple and too easy.
We can't recommend these movies highly enough. Mondays, See You This Week, which is a great title, and Nobunaga Concerto, both showing right now on JFF Theatre. You know what to do. Log on, register if you haven't already, and you will have access to a cornucopia of great movies. Check it out. We want to know what you think about these movies, whether you love them as much as we do. We're pretty sure you will. You know how to reach out. We're on Instagram on @gogglermy. You can also email us on podcast@goggler.my, or send us a WhatsApp on the Goggler hotline 012-524-5208. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Goggler Podcast.